everybody. Welcome to Thursday night, April 7th of 2022, my birth month. And you're tuned in, get it, tuned in, to Guitar Town Hall with David NESDALL. And as always, my partner, Ben Coombs. How you doing, Ben?
Doing great, Dave. You know, another week chasing tone into April, and I'm just looking forward to tonight since, you know, you dropped me a hint a little while back that we have the one and only Andy ALEDORT back, and we're talking not only about his album some more, because we barely scratched that surface last time, but also the gear that he used to make the album, which is what I'm a gear junkie. So hey, let's get into it.
I used rocks and dirt.
Rocks and dirt.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Well, we played some of it's rock music, some of it's dirt music. So that's why.
Both kinds of music.
Very nice. Well, let's say hello to everyone in the chat real quick and get into this.
Sure. I want to shout out Paulie Walnuts, Tim Thomas, Billy Baloney, Leo Safko, Octopus Ears, Dan of New Jersey, Joe Herbie 84, Papa Blue, Thomas Santiago, what's up, buddy? I Rock Zed Blues. Some guy named Ben Coombs, never heard of him. Charles 75N, Mr. Fabric Top, Guitar Man 45, House of Twang. Who else do we have? David Scher, Brenda Kersner. Good to see Brenda in here. Quentin James, Janice Lala, and anybody else that's afraid to say hi.
Janice Lala. Hey, Janice, what's happening? I'm glad Janice Lala's on here. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I'm going to do something that's going to make you're not going to believe how groovy this is when I do this.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment, as Ronnie Wood likes to say.
Yes.
As Woody, I'm here for Woody sent me.
My good friend Ronnie Wood says.
Roy Bailey.
Hold on. You know, for you guys, I don't want to, spare no effort. Hold on.
He looks over top of his computer for his Ronnie Wood guitar pick.
Oh, you have a Ron Wood guitar pick. How about that?
I have a Keith Richards as well.
Oh, it's very cool.
Does it say Keith Riffhard on it?
Sadly, no.
I don't know if you can even see that in the background. You probably can't. Nah, it's still. Oh, I can move the chair.
It's a big picture of Hendrix, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe they can see it better. You can see it better now, a little bit.
Yeah, well, I see a lefty guitar player.
Oh, hold on.
Or a righty from behind.
Well, I see an upside down headstock.
That's true.
Yeah, I lit it up a little better.
There we go.
A little bit.
Very cool.
Well, anyway. Hey, thanks for tuning in. See you guys.
All right, bye now.
All right, what's happening? What's going on?
So we're talking about your gear.
Oh, yeah, that.
We're thinking about doing some sort of rig rundown, maybe stuff that you used on the records on specific songs.
Can we start with my new guitar that I love?
Yes, we can start with that. Absolutely. Let's get you on here.
All right, so this here is, hold on, more light on the subject. It's a 2019 1961 reissue. Got it from the Music Zoo, our good friends at the Music Zoo. And it's just a made in USA. They list for $19.99. But I got to tell you, the guitar is phenomenal. Our friend Gary Blankenberg checked it out. He felt that the neck shape and everything about the instrument was very accurate to 1961. It's one of the nicest, best guitars right out of the box I've ever played in my life. I know it might not sound amazing over the internet. I can make it louder. Is it loud enough?
Plenty loud.
just great. It plays amazingly well. And then, you know, some of your viewers may know that I played slide guitar with Dickie Betts for 12 years. This is an original Corsaiden bottle from 1968
Awesome.
that was sent to me by a student in France. How cool is that?
That's
You
very
should, you should have seen the box that he made to send it to make sure that it would, you know, survive the trip. And these sell for $300 easily on eBay. And the guy, you know, he was just kind enough to say, hey, check it out. But I have many slides here that people have sent over the years just to say, hey, I thought you would dig this. And there's all kind of crazy ones. But this one's really cool. And, you know, Duane Allman was known for playing an SG when he played slide. So, you know, it's clearly a great guitar for a slide. You can get up here. You know, all that access.
Yeah.
And so in 1972, when I was 16 years old, I was sitting in the Sam Ash on 48th Street, which way back in those days, it was just like this little narrow place. And they had a brand new SG with a Bixby on it. And I fell completely in love with this guitar. I think I had about $4 to my name. And I was playing it through an amp, and I just got so into this Bixby, and I was playing and going crazy. And then all of a sudden, this hand, like, landed on me, and it was a salesman. And he just said, "Shut up! Shut up! Are you going to buy it or what?" And I was like, "I don't have any money." And so it only took 50 years. Finally got an SG. And I love it. It's
Nice.
and it's interesting. One thing I realized, you know, because it's so much neck, the pickups are closer together than on a 335 or a Les Paul, which I've been playing for many years at this point. And that definitely has an effect on the sound. It was something that never dawned on me until I owned one. It was like, whoa, wait a second. Like, look how close these pickups are to each other and how much further down this pickup is than it would be normally compared to on a 335 or Les Paul. So I said to my son, Wyatt, you know, I said, on one hand, it's just a guitar. What's the big deal? But on another hand, it is a big deal because SGs are unique, solid mahogany, pickups close to each other. The width of the board is wider. It's not 1 11/16. It's 1 3/4, 12/16. So that 1/16 of an inch you can feel absolutely. There's no two ways about it. You could totally feel it. And then one thing I was a little worried about was that the neck would be too thin. And it's a little bit thin here, but then it starts to fill out right away, and it's just great. It's terrific. So as soon as I got it, I've used it on every gig ever since. I got it for my birthday, so a month ago, and it's been the only guitar that I've played on the gigs since. So it's pretty crazy, you know.
That's very cool. Very cool.
So it's big change for me, you know. At this advanced age, it's nice to have a guitar that I'm just embracing as well. This is the guitar I'm going to use, you know, on the gig for all the songs. It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy since you're predominantly a Strat guy, and your main Strat has been a guitar you've owned since you were, I don't know, since 1973.
73 exactly, yes, when I was 17. I should go get the Strat, right? Did we talk about the Strat?
Yeah, we should talk about that guitar. There's a couple guitars I would love to talk about.
Yeah. Mazel. Since we're doing it, Dave, Mazel show it off.
Mazel, yeah.
Mazel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mazel show it.
Yeah, Mazel Tov.
What's up, Mike Olson? Everybody else joining in? Jerry Leica.
Yeah, it's nice to see everyone here. I have 30 sets of eyes watching us at the moment.
Please give a thumbs up. Helps us out.
I didn't realize it was in here already.
Oh, well, there you go.
802 Blues.
802 Blues is here. Been a while since we've seen you. Hello. Nice of you to join us. I love the strap on that guitar, man. I always tell you that. Someone made that for you, right?
No, but a student of mine got it for me. Neil Cote got it for me. And it's from Germany. And they are handmade. It's a Haus, Haus. And it is an exceptionally cool strap. It's like really beautiful leather. I have no idea how much he paid for it. It was nice of him to do that. I customized it because it had pointy ends.
Uh-huh.
And so I cut them to make them rounded.
Round. Yeah, sure.
Nice.
And you can adjust with these screw things. And then you can see there's holes, to change the... But as you can tell, I've had it for a while now, so it's very supple, I think is the word.
So do you know what those screws are called? I know this is useless information.
There's a name?
Yes, they're called Chicago screws.
Oh, I was going to say grommets.
Yeah, they're called Chicago screws, and don't ask me why I know that.
Does it have to do with that if you turn them, you have to turn them either 25 or 64 times?
It's very funny.
Thank you very much.
Very funny.
That was bad.
But that's saying, all right, so
some people's favorite thing about this guitar is the missing dot right over there.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
That fell out.
Right off the guitar.
And this one is looking pretty sad as well. It's ready to go. And this one's okay. But all the other dots have been replaced. Relatively recently, a guy named Dominic Ramos said to me, I can make dots that look exactly like vintage clay dots because I'm going to make them the same way. And I thought, he's crazy. And he was doing a fret job, and he actually, researched it. He found out how the clay dots were made of clay and epoxy, whatever the hell else was in there. And I said to him, and he said, well, I'm replacing from the 9th fret up, all the dots are going to be new, but they're going to look identical. And actually, no, the 9th fret one is original, and so it's from the 12th fret up. These are all new. And I said, is this going to cost like thousands of dollars? And he said, no, I'm not even charging you extra for it. It's just part of the fret job. Because he wanted to know. He had never done it himself. And then he hated me after that. But it's amazing. You could take a jeweler's loop, because I've done it. Take a jeweler's loop, and you look at this dot that is from 1961, is 62 years ago. And you look at this dot, which is 5 years ago, and they look under a jeweler's loop identical.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is amazing. And so this guitar is 100% original other than the fret job. And I've been through like 30 tremolo arms because I cracked them off When I was a teenager, I was very robust in my Jimi Hendrixisms and went through a lot of blocks. You could see the original color in the cavity, Dakota red, which is rather cool.
Yeah, I love that.
And you could see all the wear on this thing. And everyone's played this guitar. B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Johnny Winter, Steve Ray Vaughan played it every time we got together. John Schofield, Mike Stern, B.B. King.
Twice.
Johnny Winter said he was playing it in '88, and he goes, "Man, I don't like Stratocasters, but if I had this one, I'd play it."
I get it.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense to me. Yep.
Dave, how many times have you heard this guitar play it through an amplifier?
I can't count that high. I guess another question is, how many times have I played that guitar?
You've played this guitar a lot of times, but
Bunch of times.
The answer to that question is not enough time.
Well,
That's
not especially recently.
That's
Especially
true.
recently, I haven't heard it enough. Yeah, I used to go watch Andy play, and every time he was gracious enough to say, "Throw an amplifier in your car, brother, and come up and play some songs with us."
Absolutely.
And almost every time I'd go to see Andy play, I'd sit in for probably the whole second set.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was one or two songs, but that's because there were like a lot of people there to jam. But most of the time, I'd play the second set, the whole thing, and Andy's always gracious that way. Always been.
And I always think of back in the Branding Iron days. When Joe Vicino, our friend, started working there, and then he started a Wednesday jam. And there was a good period of time there in the '90s where it was just the place to go on Wednesday nights. I mean, I remember if I went when it was getting a little bit later, you had to park like a half mile away.
Yeah,
Like, it was crazy, right, Dave?
was. You would have to park at Blankenberg's place to walk down the block.
Or that other joint that was closer to Blankenberg's, whatever that bar was. I can't remember
Yeah.
the name of it. HR Puffin Stuffs or whatever it was called. That wasn't the name.
No, but that's funny.
And guys like Bill Thompson would be there, and Johnny Dunn and Phil Varka and
All these guys that Andy's mentioning are like local guitar guys that are well known here in the community. Very good guitar players, or have done some sort of
and great dudes. Like, it was it was a fun scene, and Dave was at every one I was at, pretty much up there playing with whoever. You never knew who's going to play, but it was always good players.
Yeah,
it was the place to go. It was the place to go on Wednesday nights, and it was great. It was packed. It would be packed. It was terrific.
all the time. All the time it was packed.
Every week, it was nuts.
Every Wednesday night. That's right.
It was really good. So, it hurts me to think of some of the instruments that went through NESDALL world.
I'll tell you. You want a real quick synopsis of the ones that kill me?
Oh, I know. I'm going to name two. Can I name two first?
You can name two of them.
You know what they are.
I do.
What was it, a 56 Strat? What was the Strat that was the Gary Strat?
It was a 57 Strat that supposedly Johnny Winter owned.
Yeah, that thing was, man, forget
It
it.
was like 300 pounds, but it was amazing.
Oh, it was heavy? I don't remember that.
Heavy, yeah, it was a heavy piece of ash. Yeah.
But, man. And then the Gold Top.
My gold top. How about my 60 Strat?
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, that was great, too.
How about the 63 Strat that I had? And how about the 65 Strat that I had that was a refinned body? It was refinned.
I don't remember those. I do remember the 60 because it was great. I loved it.
Best guitar I ever owned.
Sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to hurt you.
It's okay. So I got plenty of really nice guitars now. But yeah, oh boy, those guitars.
That was part of the thing, though. You'd go and it would be like, oh, look, what's Dave playing?
And then there would be the nights that I totally lost my mind and would bring a 412 cabinet and a 100-watt head and play like a Music Man Van Halen guitar. And then just play Van Halen licks the whole night. And that was annoying to people.
You didn't do that, not the Branding Iron, not too often.
A little bit later on, I did.
Now,
Yeah.
Branding Iron was such a blues scene. I'm getting updates on the Met game and the Ranger game.
Oh. And you're hearing it right here on Guitar Town Hall, everybody.
What's up, Terry?
One
Go
second.
Sports.
My buddy's there at the Ranger game. It's his birthday.
What's
All
up,
right.
Paul?
So anyway, so this guitar is on almost every song on Light of Love, which we mentioned, my brand new album, relatively brand new. And guess what number we hit today in streams? We hit 115.5 thousand streams today.
That's insane. That's insane.
That is insane. The song Light of Love has been streamed 40,000 times.
Wow.
Out for a Ride has been streamed 30,000 times.
Nice.
Save Something to Me 30,000 times.
Your fingers must be real bloody.
From counting money? No.
No, from streaming that often.
Oh, I get it. I'm the one who's like racking up the streams. Yeah, that was good, Dave. But I think, well, not every, almost every electric song, every song that has electric guitar on the record. That's why I put a picture of the guitar on the back of the record. It's this guitar and only this guitar. Played through either my 1967 Super Reverb or my 1978 100-watt Marshall Super Lead, had through a slant face cabinet with vintage 30s in it. And so some of the songs through the 100-watt, it's a completely different sound, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Buried Somerville, the first song on disc 2, Dave has already made the point that he prefers disc 2 to disc 1. So I just want to, throw that out there. But Buried Somerville, all the guitars are through the 100-watt Marshall, and the tone is just sick. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And Land of the Freaks is called Land of the Freaks because it was just like a Hendrix freak out, kind of like, to my mind, if anyone's familiar with the song The Stars That Play with Laughing Sam's Dice, is an unusual Hendrix song, but he goes nuts at the end, and it's all bleed into the vocal mic, and he's super loud in the studio through Marshall stacks. And so I was going for that on Land of the Freaks. And Lost and Lonely is the other end of the spectrum. It's the 100-watt, but the amp's on 1. It's the cleanest sound ever, and that's because it was recorded at like 1 o'clock in the morning 28 years ago. Everybody was sleeping, and so I had to keep the amps in the basement, so it had to be as low as possible. But the tone is just really tremendous. So, but most of the record is the Super, for sure.
That's great. First of all, that Super Reverb is ridiculous. It's such a great amplifier.
It is a terrific amp, yeah. And on Have Mercy on Me, there's a track that I recorded with Double Trouble. The lead guitar, I did the additional recording and mixing and mastering at Bob Stander's studio, Parcheesi recording in Huntington. And he has a 67 Blackface Super too, so I was playing this guitar through his Super on Have Mercy on Me.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds terrific.
Yeah. You usually, those old super reverbs are pretty much 10 out of 10 are going to sound great. I've never heard a bad one. Really never heard a bad vintage one.
I've
But,
heard ones that didn't get played a lot, and so even though we're 30, 40 years later, the amps sounded a little tight. They didn't sound broken in. So it's not a bad sound, but it's not the same as something happens. I think when an amp is just when it's burned up and gotten hot thousands of times. Sure. I don't know. Something happens. I don't know what it is. So
it gets better.
It seems to, yeah.
Tone roasted. Repeat cycles.
And most of the time, if on the older recordings, I would just tight mic two SM58s or an SM58 and a Beta 58 on the edges of the speaker cones, and not 57s. I hear a difference between 57s and 58s, and I like 58s better, even though it's supposed to be the same, whatever it's called. What is that
same
called? Diaphragm?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. There's a little bit of a difference in the sound to me, and then later on, I started to use an M Audio Sputnik that I would back off, but only a little bit, combined with a tight mic on the edge of the speaker. But if we did stuff at Bob's, which we did a couple of things, he's got like amazing, like the greatest microphones, like the stuff that Hendrix used, and so that's what you hear on Have Mercy on Me, is like 2 or 3 microphones, 2 of which were the same mics. This one's Sony mic. I can't remember what the model is. It's the same mic Hendrix used.
Very cool. So, what other guitars you have to show us? Is there a Firebird somewhere around?
There is a Firebird somewhere around. But let's start with my 70 Telly, because it's right here.
You can do that.
Oh. Telly? What?
The Telecaster's not on Light of Love, but it is on my record, Put a Sock in It, on a couple tunes. The one tune that it's on is, I used it for slide on a song called Going Down the Delta. So I bought this guitar for $200 in 1986. I was working at the Great Neck Music Center teaching, and a guy came in and sold it, and the owner of the store, this guy Jimmy, was a great guy, and he said to me, so this guy came in and wanted money for this guitar. I gave him $200. If you want it, give me $200. I said, yeah, I want it.
Done.
70 Telly. But you could see, like, the guy whoever owned it, stripped it and painted it with a paintbrush, which is, always a amazing look for a guitar.
Sure.
To be painted with a paintbrush.
But if there's a guitar that can pull it off, it's a Telecaster.
That's very true. And so for years I thought, well, I'm going to strip it and paint it, give it nice paint and all that. What was I going to say? But then finally I was like, you know what? Like, I've never seen a guitar that looks like this horrible.
Sure.
And so in a way, like this cool. And so I'm like, I'm not stripping this thing. Like, that would be insane. It would be insane to strip this guitar.
And it won't be a $200 guitar.
What's that?
Then it won't be a $200 guitar anymore.
Well, it would be if I painted it, loud enough, Dave?
Plenty loud. We got
So
a
that-
request. We got a
that-
request when you do play to show your hands when you're playing, because
Oh.
we're not we're not like singing the guitar when you're playing.
Yeah, you want me to do it again?
So we got a question. They want to know what amp and effects you're using right now.
Oh, okay. Does it sound good? I can't tell.
Yeah, it
anything.
sounds amazing. Sounds
Oh,
amazing. Plenty loud and sounds great. Just sounds great.
awesome.
And I will say, I keep Italian drop D all the time for that exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was a song called Going Down the Delta. And so I figured what the heck, I'd play the whole shebang there. But what I'm playing through is actually an amp I made. I didn't do it from Heathkit or anything. But in the spring of 2018, I got a phone call from a friend, and he said there's a guy in Glen Cove. He's got a 1972 Silverface Bandmaster head, that he wants to sell. If you're interested, call him up. So I called him up. And back in the 70s, that was my amp, my regular amp that I used in my bar band. Was a same exact amp, a 72 Silverface Bandmaster head. And back in those days, I used it with a 412 bottom. And it sounded fantastic. You know, you just put the amp on 7, and then later you'd put it on 10. And it just sounded great. So I went to see the guy, and he said, you know, I know it's worth $700-800, but I don't feel like shipping it, and if something happens to it, and he goes, if you got $250, it's yours.
Oh boy.
So you can't beat that. So I bought it with the intention of pulling the chassis and putting it in a 112 box like a deluxe, which is what I did. That's what that is. But Mitch Colby, our good friend from Colby Amps and Park Amps, and a longtime friend, he said to me, well, he has one problem. The transformer in the Bandmaster is a 4-ohm transformer, and you want to use one speaker, which is going to be an 8-ohm speaker. So he said, let me swap the transformer that's in the Bandmaster, 40-watt transformer, and replace it with a 50-watt basement transformer that's switchable 4-ohm, 8-ohm. So you could put it on 8-ohm when you're using the, you know, as a combo with the built-in speaker, or 4-ohm if you use it with, you know, a 212 cab. I have a 212 like basement style cab, and it worked out great. The thing is like beautiful, and I mean I dialed up a, you know, kind of a rock distorted sound for us. So I'm just using one pedal. I'm using a pedal I really love. It's a G.H. AT Plus, an Andy Timmons pedal. It's his mod of a Angry Charlie. And I'm really just sort of using the Angry Charlie side of it, although he changed the way the EQ works, and also there's like a dB boost and cut. There's a 3-way switch, and I have it on the highest output, whatever that is.
Yeah, 100 watt.
Right. But I mean, the settings on the pedal right now, because it's not loud, it's as loud as my speaking voice. The distortion's on like 2 o'clock, but the volume's on way down there. It's, you know, it's like you have off, and then you'd have like 1 or 2, and it's around
sure.
2. It's around 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, you know, it's a really nice. Dave knows what song that is.
Yes, I also know I'm not getting paid for this video.
All right, more guitars.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Then we have my Les Paul.
What do you have it on a shelf?
No, it's just in a pile over here.
Oh.
All right, so this is a 2006. In 2006, I had the custom shop make me a 58. And has a pretty chunky neck. It's going to be very difficult to see that, but
I can see.
You can see it's big.
Got thick shoulders.
Yeah, it's big. No, it
Mhm.
doesn't have big shoulders, but it's fat.
No. Yeah. Okay.
It's very round. It's a lot of neck there. You can
Mhm.
sort of see. It's 9.1 pounds. Burst buckers. And I mean, it's been played. That wasn't like that.
Yeah, look at that.
Originally.
I can't remember that. That's insane. I don't remember that ever being there. That's cool.
No, it's,
You use that guitar much, Andy?
Do I use it?
Of course you do. That's a joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's been my main guitar for the Friends of the Brothers, the one band I'm in with the Allman Brothers. The Allman Brothers alumni band where we play a lot of Allman Brothers stuff. And so this has been my main guitar for that. I could do this if you like. But I dig this guitar. It's, like I said, it's burst buckers. It's almost in tune. Who knows what song that is?
That's an Allman Brothers song.
It
Now,
is an
did
Allman
you-
Brothers song.
Is that the part you played? Did you play that with Dickie?
We didn't play that song too many times, but we did play it. That song is called Revival. And yes, when I played it with Dickie, that's what I would play. But I like to do both parts on one guitar. That's two guitars on one guitar. But this thing, you can't do the harmony part because that's impossible to do on one guitar,
Yeah.
Great song. Yeah. And the great guitar for a slide, So sorry.
I love.
I mean, it's just great, this guitar is.
I love the fact that you could play slide on standard tuning, where most people have to tune it to an open chord.
Yeah, that was an important thing with Betts. When I first went on tour with him, I brought my old SG tuned to open E, and then I discovered that he gives you no time to change guitars. Zero. Like, he'll just turn around and start counting, and I would go, wait! And then he would look at me like, what's wrong with you? I didn't hire you to tell me to wait. So you kind of have to do it in standard, but I actually like playing slide in standard better. On my new album, there's a lot of slide guitar. Light of Love is a song. It's like. So it just feels really good to do that in standard tuning. And then there's another song called Out for a Ride. It's hard to play the opening lick with the slide on. I don't even know if I could do it. And then it's like what is it? Something like that. And that was a neck pickup, bridge pickup. So it's really important, the muting with this hand. You have to do everything you can to just have the one string. You have to be bridging all the time around the other strings. So that's the story with this guitar. It's got burst buckers, and it's terrific. It's a great guitar, and so I used this for the 2006 and 7 tours with Betts, and then I got this guitar. Hold on a second. The custom shop make this for me, and I wanted a 61 because I had played first I played Warren Haynes' 61, and Warren got his 61 because he had played Dickey's 61. So dot board, and even though it's a 335, it has additional routing in the center block because mid 1960 they started routing all the center blocks the same for the additional wiring that 345s and 55s had. Mm-hmm. And the absence of the wood makes the instrument more resonant and changes the sound. And so they made this for me, which was great. And then it also has the Dickey Betts mod, which anyone familiar with the 335 will notice that these are switched. You know, this is usually where the neck volume goes, and this is where the toggle goes. But the reason for switching is you can do swells. It's difficult because it's far still, but it's impossible otherwise. So volume swells are something that's very important to Dickie. And in playing with him, we would do harmonized lines in swells, and he was crazy OCD about it. Like, he would yell at me if I didn't swell exactly the same as him and have the same vibrato as him on every note. He would want it to sound like, you know,
like guitar,
like a string section, like violins or something. Like, it had to be identical vibratos. It was a bitch.
Yeah.
It was a bitch to do. And then this neck is kind of chunky too. Both the instruments are sort of 58s, but I had them make the neck a tiny bit smaller, what they call a 30/60. So it's not a slim taper, it's fatter than that. This has burst buckers also. And the paint is kind of a big deal. You can see how dark it is, how dark the red is. And at the time, you could only get in kind of that opaque orange, which was kind of ugly, or a sunburst. And so, yeah, look at Dave's over there.
Yeah, it's the same color. They actually call this, now there's a name for this color. It's called Viking red.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, back then, though, in 2008,
it was Clapton's color. It was the
right. They weren't making a guitar with that paint. And so I sent pictures. And Dave, you were working at Guitar Center then, so I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the one that was there? It might have been a 60, and it was like very burgundy. It was almost like a wine color.
I remember.
I have a picture of that somewhere. That's a long time ago. That's like at least 15, 16 years ago. And anyway, so Steve Christmas at the Custom Shop said, well, the best thing we can do is we have some paint left over from the Clapton, replica cream guitar that was $17,000. Do you mind if we use that paint? I said, I don't mind.
Not a bit.
I do not mind. And this guitar is just a terrific guitar. Hold on. And the reason I got it was because Dwayne Betts was in the band too then, and the tour in 2007, Dickie and me and Dwayne were all playing Les Pauls, and it was just too much, you know, too many Les Pauls. And so Dickie was actually really happy when I showed up the next year at rehearsal with a 335. He was so happy when he saw it, he looked at me and he said, "You rat bastard." I always think of how does it begin? Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good strange brew guitar.
guitar, Burst Killer.
Ah. Sounds terrible, right?
Oh yeah, just yeah. What's the point? We had a question here. Polly Walnuts is asking, what gauge strings are you using?
I like straight 10s.
Okay.
10 through 46, and I'm really loving these D'Addario strings that they make now that are called XT. They have XTE for electrics and XTA for acoustics. They are not coated, but they're treated in some way. I don't know how. And
they're a great string.
Yeah, and I really didn't believe that it would be possible. I always feel like it's hype when they say, that the strings are improved. But I don't know what it is about these XTs. They are great. From the moment you put on a new set, they sound amazing. They stay in tune phenomenally. They feel so good.
I agree. I remember when the first generation of those came out, they handed me a packet NAMM. I went home, and I was just like, coated, I think of elixirs, and it's just string dandruff everywhere immediately. And I was like, what do they dip these things in WD-40?
But they're not coated. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Their coated ones are the XSs.
Right.
The XTs are treated. Now, I don't know what that means, but they last longer, and I don't dig coated strings.
I can't use them myself.
All right, Dave, should we go to the Firebird?
Yes, that is actually the guitar that I've been wanting to talk about all night, and that's my next guitar. Actually, I'm looking to get a Firebird.
He's been talking about a Firebird for a month now.
I want to get a Firebird.
There's one hanging up back there already.
There isn't, because no one has one. I mean, there are real ones, but right now, if you were to get a real 64 in Sunburst, it'd be about $30,000
or
more.
30, 40. Well, Wellstrung has some. I think they're like 80,000.
Yeah, but that's colors. They have a white one and they have a frost blue 5, 2 Firebird 5s, and they're both about $80,000. But colors, that's what they're going to be. They're going to be that much money. Sunburst is going to be a lot less, but still,
it's going to be 30. It's going to be 30 grand for a real one.
$30,000 for a real one. But Custom Shop this year is coming out with a Murphy Labs Firebird 5. They're coming out with 2 different colors, Cardinal Red and Frost Blue. And the second a Frost Blue hits, I'll get it.
You think they'll be 8 grand or something?
They're $7,500. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's fair if it's a killer guitar.
That's more than fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about Andy ALEDORT, everyone, people? My goodness. The guy plays phenomenally. It's like I could sit here and watch him. I don't have to say a word.
It's like we said last week, Dave. It's like I'm literally tossing the coin. Do I, am I going to be playing here for 2 hours after we get off here, or I'm putting everything up for sale? It could go either way.
It's amazing. But when you guys see this next guitar, you're going to all lose your shit, because this guitar, my goodness, it is just wonderful. I played this guitar once or twice, that he's about to bring
I'm
out.
just curious how many people are buying black semi-gloss Tremclad and paint rollers for the tellies after tonight.
Right? I'm surprised you haven't even gone to the store yet.
I already thinking in my head, do I already have some paint? I do. I do have some black semi-gloss, actually.
Wait till you people see this guitar, and wait till you hear it. This guitar is just hands down my favorite that Andy owns.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget, or don't you forget, we have to do the National Steel that's from like 1929 or 1931 or
Yes, please.
that was formerly owned by Booker Wyatt. The Booker Wyatt guitar. So we have to remember to do that one. All right, so this is a 64 all original. Some of your viewers might be familiar with Perry Margoliouth, infamous guitar collector. And if you ask Perry, he will tell you that this is the best Firebird he's ever played in his life. That's how he feels about it. So, that's pretty cool. Johnny Winter liked it. This is him playing it.
Nice.
It's a little, there you go. It's a little better. Johnny played it a bunch of times. He dug it.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
What's up, Jimmy Ray?
Huh?
Saying hey, Jimmy Ray Hawkins in the chat.
All right, so...
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
so, I mean, come on. Look at this thing.
Yeah. That's the shit.
It is.
That thing is pretty nuts, man.
I'm just looking at that hardware. Like, you can't fake that. You can get close, but you can't really fake that. That's nothing but tears of
No.
joy.
No, it's
Wow.
pretty sick, man. And, you know, the bird is a little faded, worn out. Yeah.
No broken headstocks there.
No breaks. That's a big thing with this guitar. It's hard to find. Very hard to find. Original.
And a good fret job.
Oh, yeah. The fret job that I got on this a long time ago when I first got the guitar in 1995. So, how long ago was that? 37 years ago.
Wow.
Same
That
fret
was-
job.
Flip Scipio did that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Now, I haven't touched this guitar, so it's not really set up. I can't believe it's in tune.
I just like, okay. You're like, it's not set up.
You guys know what song that is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll hoochie
It's in pretty good tune. It's been sitting in the case for months.
A little bit of a backbone.
A little bit, yes.
Funny, it's funny that Billy Baloney Billy Baloney just said, "Has anyone seen the Mike Campbell interview on Gibson TV?" I was just going to mention Mike Campbell just called. He wants his guitar back.
Does he have one like this?
He's got a white one, but that's his main.
Got one of everything.
So Johnny would play that like this. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's how he would do that chord. This guitar is amazing.
Some serious mojo.
Yeah, you need to keep that out and straighten that neck and play that thing. That guitar doesn't deserve to sit in the closet.
The backbow is very slight, Dave. It's really like this one note is the only note that's buzzing. Everything else. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Pretty good guitar.
Yeah, you can drop that off at my house. Nice.
I hate
Very
this
cool.
thing. It sucks.
You can drop it off at my house tomorrow.
I'm going to throw it under your car. All right. What should we do now?
Let's do the National Steel. We got about 15 minutes, so let's do that. And anyone have any last minute questions at that end? After that,
I'm just seeing a lot of wows. Oh yes. Dang,
yeah.
My fingers are sore just watching this.
Well, good. Well, thanks for making me play all these guitars, Dave.
You're welcome. Thanks for showing them. That
All
guitar,
right,
that guitar was like that was the closer. Now we just got to do the encore.
Okay. Hold on.
My God. Yeah, that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I told you guys That guitar
Like
is
to the point where I'm thinking, and the way I was watching the way Andy plays the Firebird, I was like, oh, I got to revisit a Firebird now because I see the way he's playing it, which offsets the problem I was having with it being too far out here. He's like, no, we'll
yeah, you got to play it
hang
over
her up the
here.
hip.
Play it on the right knee. Yeah, that's some stuff, man. Well, I'm speechless.
Mm.
Andy ALEDORT, man, with these instruments. I thought I had some cool stuff, but looking at his stuff, man, it's like,
Same.
and then watching him play it all,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how good he is.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason people take lessons from him, I think. I'm starting to understand it now, Dave.
Yeah.
You might have a thing or two to offer, a lick or two, possibly. I'm
You
just
think?
saying. Yeah.
Jesus.
He seems to know all the licks.
Good
all the
stuff.
notes.
Tonight,
Guys,
anyway.
we got to do these two really quick.
Oh,
Okay.
yep. I agree.
I'm not going to plug them in. I just want to show them. Okay. So this guitar, this is a beautiful seafoam green with binding, but it's an ESP 400 series.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this guitar from my wife. It's my wife's guitar in probably 87. We started dating in 86. And I'll plug it in, why not? I don't know if this is set up at all. This has been sitting untouched for ages. Yeah, the action's kind of screwed up. But this guitar is actually a fucking great guitar. Hey, what song is this, Dave? Let's see. Do you know?
It's a Yardbird song, right?
Yes, sir. But ain't got you. And this guitar is great. Who knows what song this is? Hold on a second.
I've never seen Dave do
Anybody know what song that was?
Not me. I don't know it. I've heard it before, but I don't know it.
It has two names. It's called Feeling Good, and it's also called Sam's Boogie, Magic Sam. But
Okay.
it's one of those
Jason,
things.
that's okay.
It's a bitch, you know. It's almost like a washboard thing. You know, you go. You know, it's one of those very mysterious licks that Dickie Betts challenged me to learn it because he was like, learn it so you could teach it to me.
So that guitar, if you put a B string bender on that guitar, it would be the Ronnie Wood guitar.
What's
He plays
this,
a black
Dave?
one like that. Oh wow, the Univox. Did Vi sign that?
No.
That's very cool. Very cool. I remember when Steve gave you that guitar.
It was like a week after 9/11.
Yeah.
All right, so the story with this thing. Oh, it's really not in tune. Wow.
I do know that it's got a set of burst buck, a set of
That it does. Oh, this thing is so fucked up. There's a major problem happening with this Tune-O-Matic. But you know what's funny? I just played Sam's Boogie, and you could look up a video of Magic Sam playing Sam's Boogie on this exact guitar. Not this exact one, but on a 68 Univox Les Paul that had belonged to Earl Hooker.
Oh, wow.
This is the instrument he used. Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Something just happened.
Something just fell. God, I hope that's not the Firebird.
Exactly. Positive vibes, folks. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. What a wonderful show tonight, though, Dave. And I will say, I think that's the oldest ESP I've ever seen without a Floyd Rose on it.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everything's okay on that end. I know that Andy has got an elderly dog. I hope the dog's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking, Terry. You don't see a lot of those ESP Telly style.
No, you don't.
Sorry, fellas. That was very bizarre. Something fell somewhere. I don't know what it was.
It's not the Firebird, right?
No, that's put away.
Okay.
But anyway, so the first electric guitar I ever bought in 1971 when I was 15 was a guitar exactly like this, a 1968 Univox Les Paul. Not a very good instrument. It's made out of like press wood or something. But I bought it for $140, and the guy had put Gibson T-tops in it. And then in 2001, like I was literally like a week after 9/11 happened, I was on the phone with Steve Vai, and he told me that the first electric guitar he ever owned was a '68 Univox, black Univox Les Paul. And I said, "Wow, that's funny, Steve, because that was my first guitar, and I've never known another person that owned one." And he said, "Wow, he never knew another person that owned one either." And then a week later, I came downstairs in the morning and I noticed this huge box outside the front door. So my first thought was that Osama bin Laden had sent a bomb to my house and was going to kill me. And so I dragged the box inside the house, and when I told the story to Joe Satriani, he said, "What, are you crazy? You're supposed to open it outside. What if it had anthrax in it?" And I went, "I didn't know that. Didn't think of that." And so, anyway, this was in there. It wasn't signed, but it was in there with a note from Steve Vai. And it said, "I found two of them. Now you have one, and I have one. I hope you have a nostalgic overload." And that was, without question, one of the most thoughtful things that anyone has ever done for me. I couldn't believe it, that he would do that. And so the first thing I did was take the pickups out to put in. I didn't have T-tops, but I put Seymour Duncan Antiquities in it. Steve Vai said, Joe Satriani said to me, "You ruined it." So as you could tell, Satriani has a lot of criticisms for anything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we fast forward. That was 2001. To like 15 years later, like 2016 or 17. It was probably 17, so it's 16 years later. And Joe Satriani's doing his camp in Glen Cove. And I was one of the teachers, and Steve Vai came in one day to teach and do a concert. And so I thought, I'll bring it. He hasn't seen it. He never saw it. He bought it online and had it shipped to me. But I'd like him to sign it, So I bring it, and it was during lunchtime, and I was very, tried to be surreptitious about it. I had it, I put it somewhere. And then Steve was eating lunch, sitting at a table with Joe and a bunch of people. And I came over. I said, "Steve, what's happening?" He's like, "Hey," I go, "I brought something." And he goes, "What, the Les Paul?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Thanks for ruining the surprise."
That's so funny.
He just looks at me and goes, "What, the Les Paul?"
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So then he signed it. He wrote, you the bestest." And anyway, so I just love having it,
Yeah, how could you not? It's very cool.
All right, do we have time for the
we
steel,
do,
or we don't?
We'll do the national steel, and then we're going to say goodnight.
Yeah, I know. You made me miss the whole Ranger game. Thanks a lot.
Oh, no problem. Rangers suck anyway.
I want to say hello to my sister.
Hello, Amanda. Thanks for everyone that stuck around tonight to watch this amazing array of playing and guitar.
Yeah, they're lining up for copyrights tonight on you, Dave. They're just all lined up. It's quite the alumni that have lined up. Like all.
Let me check my email now, because I'm sure I've got it already. This video has been flagged. Who cares? So I don't. Whatever.
So we're not going to get some ad revenue.
No, it's all right.
That's fine. More. See, the other nights make up for nights
All
like
right.
tonight, Dave. It's all
Let me
about
just say
balance.
thank you to you guys for this long journey through the instruments. It's been a lot of fun. I hope it's been fun for you guys. Do any of your viewers have any comments or questions or anything?
We've got a lot of drooling and a lot of this is an awesome show. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, a lot of people are thanking us for having you on again. looking at your instruments, watching you play. It's just like it's a love fest for you, Andy.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Oh,
Thank
look
you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and thank you for supporting my good friends, Dave and Ben, in their terrific show, Guitar Town Hall. So make sure you do that as much as possible. Thank you, fellas.
No problem.
at
All right,
that.
so this is, I can't remember what year it is. It's a 29 or 31. And I also can't remember if it's a Style O or a Style 1. But somebody knows that, the answer to that. And 100% original. Look at that.
Man, the old headstock.
Yep.
Yeah. And so this instrument belonged to my good friend Joe Carter, who very sadly passed away at only 53 years old. But he had been ill, and apparently he had said to his girlfriend, of all of his instruments, there was only one that he wanted to go to someone, and it was this one, and he had told her that he wanted me to have it, which I really couldn't believe, you know. And of course I don't want it. I'd rather he was still here. So it'd still be his, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But so I think it's in G.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great instrument, man. Great
That
instrument.
guitar, yeah, that guitar sounds killer.
That's a real glass bottleneck, you know.
Nice.
I have like 100 slides over here. Dave will attest to that. Some actual bottlenecks that still have the thing on it, you know.
Yeah.
And I have my Sears spark plug ratchet that I stole from Dickie Betts.
Nice.
Because this is what Lowell George used. Lowell used one of the very heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. If there are no,
your GM spark plug socket, not your Ford one, your GM one. It's smaller.
yes, the Sears. All right, guys. So thank you. This has been
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Andy,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. The instruments are all awesome. It's always a pleasure having you on here. And we'll have you on here again for a reason or two. We'll see. But we always love having you on here.
It's not
Well,
hard to
thank
come
you.
up with an excuse to have Andy on, Dave.
Yes, I know. Well, thank you for bending the rules.
No problem. Anytime.
And remind everybody to buy my new CD,
Yes.
Light of Love.
Where can people get it?
They can order it directly from me if they like. You can message me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or via my website, andyaldort.com, or andyaldort777 @gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send you a CD if you have a CD player, or if you don't, I'll send you a zip file of the MP3s or the WAV files, whatever you like, so you can play it on your computer. And as I said earlier, I'm at 115,500 streams
It's amazing.
in like 9.5, close to 10 weeks. So doing really well. It's great.
That's awesome. Real quick, if you're new to the show here and you like what you see, please subscribe and click the bell. We'll give you notifications when we're on. We're on every Thursday, but we'll let you know if we have a guest or if there's anything special that's coming up. We don't spam, so you won't be like, Jesus, it's that NESDALL again. It's nothing like that. But if you like what you see, please hit subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Please comment below. The comments help the it helps the show. It helps the algorithm. I answer every comment. So if you have anything to ask Andy that you may not have asked here, I can get questions to him and get them answered for you. If you have questions for me and Ben, by all means, we will answer your questions. If you just want to say hi, if you want to say, hey man, the show was great, or man, that show sucked, let us know. It doesn't matter even if it's a bad comment. Any comment is welcome.
And thanks, Terry's been putting links to Andy's stuff in the chat here. All the
Thank you.
tools and websites and stuff. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate
Thanks for Terry for being a great moderator that he is. And thanks to everyone for coming in and sharing this with us tonight.
Yeah.
That's about it. We'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday is going to be my birthday week.
Whoa.
So we're going to probably celebrate next Thursday night.
Cool.
Hey, hold on. Let me plug. When's my next gig? Oh, not till Saturday, April 16th. I'll be at Bo's Bar in Green Lawn if you want to come out for that. So come out to Bo's Bar in Green Lawn on April 16th.
Very cool. I have one more thing. This Wednesday night on the 13th, I'll be on Fruitcake Tony's show, Halenville. I believe it's Halenville.
Yes.
And we'll be discussing the 5150 guitar again, which is fine because I love discussing that guitar right there. That guitar right there.
Yep.
So check us out on Fruitcake Tony's channel Wednesday night at 9 p.m. I
9
believe.
p.m. Eastern.
And we'll see you then. And if you don't check that show out, we will see you next Thursday night.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Thanks,
right.
everybody, for tuning in.
Andy, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
All right. Love you guys. See you later.
Same here. Bye-bye.